back, guys, to video number 3. Today we're doing something a little different. We're doing a beard trim on my buddy Dillon. We're going to be going through various types of beard trims, the square, circle, and almond shaped. So follow along, check it out. So once we get them all caped up here, you'll notice Dillon keeps the top pretty short. So whenever you have a beard trim, you want to bear in mind where you're connecting it into. If it's skin or if it's a longer length on the top, you just want to make that transition in nicely. As to with Dillon here, we're going to be doing a skin transition. So it's going from long length to bare skin. You'll see on all the different beard trims you guys do, they'll have longer length, even long hair. So what I always encourage you guys to do if they have long hair on top, to just stop short of the top of the ear before and leave everything above that alone, as if it was short, if that makes sense. So fading this in, I like to do it while they're sitting upright, so I don't risk getting any of this hair right here into his eyes. So starting with the number 2 clipper guard at the bottom of the ear, I'm just gonna slowly start tapering this out. I like to get this done first before I work my way down the rest of the beard. Halfway closed, fully closed. Then I'll switch to a 1.5. Something to note is typically I will always start at the bottom of the ear with a 1.5, but where if the density is thicker with the beard, you might want to use a larger guard. That's why I started with the number 2 instead of the 1.5. And now I'm just slowly working my way down, because if you go too short down here, it will take away the gradient of the taper on the beard, and it can make the beard look weird and take away the fullness element that we're going for. We're not trying to remove this, we're trying to embolden it, make it look more just popped out. One fully closed and my half here. Now you're starting to see the taper in nicely into the skin here. That's what you want. You want to see a nice taper. You don't want a hard line. You want to see it blend and flow in there nicely. Okay, my clipper's fully open here, and I'm just at the very top where that connects in here. It should look a lot like that. And I'm gonna repeat this on the other side. And again, starting with my 2 fully open at the bottom of the ear, I'm just tapering this up, closing it fully here before I switch to my next guard. That's a 2. Now I will then grab my 1.5. Fully open, halfway closed, fully closed, then 1. Fully open again, halfway closed, fully closed. My half. It's essentially, you're literally doing a taper or a fade in reverse on their beard. That's something that's helped me out a ton when I'm doing beard trims. And honestly, this little bit of fading here has helped me out a lot with my fades as well, because it helps the brain work in reverse. So you're starting this way up versus this way down. Helps your brain kind of get a fading from a different perspective. Okay. Something as well that you can do to really kind of pop this as well is right at the top where the taper connects in, grab your foil shavers. If they keep a well-maintenance top like Dillon does here, then you can just slightly blend into it. That'll just further solidify that taper into the fade or into the skin there. Same thing here, just gonna do a little bit on this side. Okay. So from that point forward, I'm gonna throw my headrest in here. Then I'm gonna take this cape off him. Something you want to bear in mind is you really want to look at how their neck is resting in that headrest. You don't want to, I'm just for all intents and purposes, you don't want to have their head like that or bound up. You really want to have the headrest resting in the neck there, so it gives their head something to rest on, and it keeps the beard at an angle to work on too. You can see now where it's resting in here. Now the beard's nice and straight and not like pitched and kinked, because you don't want to be trying to cut this thing when it's kinked and pinched, or it'll throw the whole beard off and get it all messed up. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a little bit of heat protection volumizer here, and I'm gonna work that into the beard. Why I'm doing this is because I'm going to be using a blow dryer on his beard, and anytime you put heat to hair, it's radiant damage, and you want to protect that hair from the heat. So this is what that volumizer does. It protects it while we blow dry it. I'm going to grab me a pick here, and we're just going to blow dry this all out and pick it all out and get it all stood up. That way I like to cut it when it's in that shape. All right, before I get too carried away with myself, I'm gonna put a guard in here just to give myself a little barrier. As much hair as you can prevent from going down their shirt as you can, you should. Okay. Now, the first beard shape I want to show you guys is going to be square. Now, that's basically what he has now, but I'm going to incrementally work my way up this beard, showing you guys different quick shapes. So first of all, that would be your square shaped beard at the bottom, of course, just so you guys can see, because I like to give my customers an option when I'm doing beard trims. I like to say, do you like it square, do you like it rounded, or do you like it almond? Give you guys an idea, that would be square. Next shape I'm going to show you is rounded, and I'm going to finish with an almond on him. But I just, like I said, I want you guys to see, before I just hack all this beautiful length off, I want you guys to see some cool shapes. So this next shape would be a circle shape. You can see how I'm just kind of really taking the corners out of that square. That's a very rough cut of a circle shape. And last but not least, I'm going to do the almond shape. So now, before I proceed to the almond shape, I'm going to finish up the sides and the rest. But it's very important that you start with setting your length. So what I like to do is determining the length of where their beard is. I mean, this can be determined in the consultation, but me and Dillon have already game planned. So for all intents and purposes of education, I'm going to show you guys what we're going to do here. So set a guide right down the middle using the symmetry of his nose, and just draw an imaginary line down the middle of his face. Set your guide right here. I like to just take a nice little notch like you're going to see here. I'm using the point of my teeth, the clipper, fully closed when I'm doing this, because that's the most aggressive edge that you're going to have when you're cutting through something coarse and thick like this, because you really need a very prominent, sharp line. It's something that's just going to cut and not bend and push the hair around, something that's just going to move it and cut it nicely. Once my guide has been set here, something I always emphasize, especially with the line in the back of the head, I have like in other videos, you connect your left to your right. So I'm going to start off my guide in the middle and work my way left, and then come back and work my way right. And all while bearing in mind that this is going to have an almond shape to it at the end. You'll notice when I'm doing beard trims, I spend a majority of my time standing in front of them like this, looking down at them. I do that because I don't want the beard to become crooked or lopsided, because if you work primarily from one side the whole time, you can run the risk of making it lopsided. All right, so I got my left and my right side done. Now I'm create a line right down the sides here on both sides of the beard, because I want to keep this natural line here nice and straight, and that's where it's going to connect here as well. So you're going to have a connection point here to here. So starting right off there, I'm just gonna come straight down, keeping that line nice and straight. And once you see I hit that connection point here, I'll kind of start cleaning it. This is very rough right now. It's in what I would like to call like the sketch phase. They're gonna have a lot of stragglers hang out. That's okay. You just want to get the rough draft done. You want to get your sketch finished and then go forward into the next phase of it. So spin them over here, same thing. Just bring that nice natural line down. Okay. Something really important to notice is I don't like to use my clippers on the neck. The clippers just run such a risk of cutting them, especially if anybody uses clippers like mine. They're zero gap. A zero gap clipper on the neck can really damage or hurt somebody, so be mindful of that. I like to utilize some trimmers. These ones in particular have like a nice soft touch blade, which especially when you're doing anything on the neck area and the face, you want something that's not aggressive. So now I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to clean up, and this time I'm actually going all the way down to the neck, not touching it hard, but just lightly touching the neck and just cleaning up the shape that we created earlier. So something that you may not see in the video, but I'm going to explain to you guys here, is I like how it has a C kind of underneath here. You see like this C, and I do that strictly by design. And the reason I do that is because when he pivots his head down, you see how it rolls like that? That way when he wears a suit and a tie and a collar and stuff, that right underneath here ain't going to be getting caught in the collar and stuff. So we do that by design. So be mindful that there's that little curve in there. If you implement that into your beard trim services, you you'll really notice an appreciation, if you will, from your clients that have the big beards and constantly be bending their necks and stuff. They're not getting caught in their collars and zippers. I'm gonna clean this out just a little bit here. Okay, so now that I got that lined up pretty good, I feel really good about that. I'm just gonna take my clippers and I'm gonna smooth out any of the rough edges. What I mean by rough edges, I mean right here along this, you can set how it comes to a sharp edge. I'm gonna smooth that all out with my clippers here. If you're here, they got a little bit of ear hair. I mean, take advantage, clean it up. Anything you can do that will help give your service more value, do it. I mean, because customers appreciate that, you know. It's just a little quick brisk of the ears as well. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the shape that we got going so far here. Check my mirror. I see a little line here that I want to adjust. So again, mirror is still continuing to be the best friend of us. Okay, cool. All right. While I got my trimmer, how do you get these lines on the cheek to look so good? Like, is what I always tell my barbers when they're doing beards is utilize the corners of the mouth as your reference point for creating that hook swoop type feature that goes on the beard. So coming right here at the corner of his mouth, I'm literally taking the corner of my trimmers here and I'm just kind of following it up. And I'm gonna pop over here and do the same thing. And using the corner of the mouth as my ending point, and you just kind of do this swoosh right into it like so. Okay, now that that's done, let's clean up that mustache a little bit. Something that you want to make sure of when you're doing mustaches is I just like to keep the hair off the lip. Anybody that has a mustache or a beard can understand what I'm saying. When hair is hanging over the lip, it's just extremely annoying feeling. It just, you can't eat, you can't drink. So as a bearded guy or a mustache guy, is like, this is one of their biggest things that they love is just getting this cleaned up. So again, I like to do the same thing. I like to set me a little guide here in the center and be certain to not go too high on the lip, because if you go too high and expose too much of the lip, it looks weird, like their lips are just fully exposed and the mustache is above it. So be mindful of that, to not raise the mustache too high on the lip or it's going to look odd. So I set my guide and I'm just following it off here, and I'll come back over here on this side and just finish this up. Okay, now I feel like I've got a majority of my lining work. The perimeter's done. We got the shape is really starting to take effect. Now I like to lower the client down and I like to get behind him like this, and where I'm looking just straight down the barrel. I call it like planing, like you're planing a piece of wood. Same concept, I'm just planing his beard, but I'm working my way down. So I'll take my clipper fully closed, and all these hairs I've seen sticking out, I'm just gonna clean them up. I'm not cutting it down, I'm just taking the hairs that are sticking up and planing them out, smoothing it out, and I'll do this all the way around the beard until I get to the left side here. Okay. Cool, and what that does by planing it out, like I said, it gets rid of any hairs that are just shooting all over the place, shooting off the beard, and cleans it up. From this point forward, I'm gonna just do a little bit more polishing work with the clipper here, mainly focusing on edges and any hairs that are sticking out, and you want to take this opportunity just to really kind of polish. Cool, I feel good about this shape. So next thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna clean this work area up real quick, and then we're gonna get this all shaved up, put some product in it, and then we'll be good to go. Get a little bit of hot lather here. Just put this right here. While that's sitting there, I'll take care of the cheeks real quick. I'll just put a little lather here. And I'm just using the heel of my razor here, and then just bringing it down to that line. Same thing on this other side here. I like to hurry up, get this aftershave on here really quick. Just make sure no chance of razor burn starts to come up. All right, we'll pop this off the neck so we'll get a little bit more lather here. All right, I'm gonna gently turn his head just a little bit here. And we're just cleaning up this whole lower section. All right, a little bit of aftershave on there. Next, I'm gonna grab my brush here, put some talcum powder on there, and we're just gonna brush this off again really good. Okay, cool. So now, next shave, we got these spots here shaved up. I'm gonna blow this out one more time using my pick and then clean up whatever little residual hairs will pop out. Something important to consider, you can over trim a beard. You can sit here and pick it out and pick it out and pick it out, and you'll keep getting little hairs. So don't be super OCD. I like to just cut it once like you see, and I like to fluff it out one more time and then re-clean up whatever pops out and just stop, because you will literally whittle it away till there's nothing there. So using some heat, just blow it out. And again, anything that you see that popped out after you did your second blowout, grab your trimmers or clippers and just clean that up. I'm just seeing little bits. I'll jump behind them one more time like we talked about earlier in the video and just replane out anything that might have been missed or fluffed up when you did that second fluff out. All right. From there, like a good haircut, it needs product. So choosing a good product to put in there is gonna be key. Get a little bit of beard foam here. And I like to start kind of painted on there. Like, I'm not working it in super hardcore. I don't want to mess this shape up and refluff out and create much more work for myself. Using the balls of my finger to kind of just funnel it through. And again, I like to take my blow dryer, medium heat, and just lightly like to work that beard product into the beard. All right. Last opportunity for any little frillies or flyaways, just this is your chance, because now it's got product in it and it stood up, and this is a show beard now. Again, if you see a little hair in the ears, just get it out of there. Makes everything just stand out so much better when everything's cleaned up. Okay, cool. All right, I'll have you sit up for me. Take this headrest out of here. And then another value to service, I like to take this point to just clean up the eyebrows a little bit. Okay, now from that point forward, this beard is done. Show you what you think, dude.
It's great.
Cool. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. All right, thank you guys for watching and tuning in today. Also, please, if you like this video and what you've seen today, please subscribe, follow our station. It helps us out a ton, and we want to hear from you guys what you might want to do. Please leave your comments in the bottom and we'll try to get it done for you. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Have a good day. What the hell, Kevin?